Welcome to Just Stories. We hope you enjoy the story. The Struggle Unveiled, The Ongoing Conflict in Ukraine, by Just Stories. Chapter 1, The Spark of Unrest, the Euromaidan Movement. The Euromaidan movement stands as a pivotal moment in Ukraine's recent history, igniting widespread unrest and political upheaval. Rooted in the desire for a more democratic and European-oriented future, this chapter delves into the historical background, aspirations of the protesters, the government's response, and key events that shaped the Euromaidan movement. Ukraine's journey towards the Euromaidan protests can be traced back to its complex historical context. The country, located at the crossroads of Europe and Russia, had long grappled with a delicate balance between the two spheres of influence. In the early 2010s, as Ukraine leaned towards closer ties with the European Union, its government under President Viktor Yanukovych opted for a last-minute U-turn, rejecting an EU association agreement in favor of stronger ties with Russia. This decision became a catalyst for popular discontent. The aspirations of the protesters were multifold. The Euromaidan movement represented a yearning for political change, transparency, and the rule of law. Ukrainians, particularly the younger generation, sought to challenge corruption, demand accountable governance, and pursue closer integration with the European community. Their vision extended beyond economic benefits, encompassing the values of democracy, human rights, and European norms. As thousands of citizens poured into Kiev's Independence Square, the government's response varied in intensity. Initially dismissing the protests, the authorities eventually resorted to crackdowns, further fueling public anger. Violent clashes erupted between the protesters and the security forces, resulting in tragic loss of life. The Euromaidan movement witnessed several defining moments that shook the nation. One such event was the brutal beating of prominent journalist and activist, Tatiana Kornevol, which sparked outrage and intensified public support for the protests. The outrage also amplified demands for the resignation of President Yanukovych and his government, who were perceived as symbols of corruption and authoritarianism. Despite the challenges and adversities faced, the protesters displayed remarkable resilience and solidarity. The Maidan Square turned into a makeshift city, hosting diverse activities ranging from discussions on political reform to cultural events. This vibrant atmosphere fostered a sense of unity and determination among the protesters. As the chapter draws to a close, the Euromaidan movement sets the stage for subsequent developments in Ukraine's ongoing conflict. The movement's impact on shaping political discourse, inspiring further activism, and instigating profound changes in Ukrainian society cannot be overstated. The Euromaidan movement was not only a catalyst for political change, but also a testament to the power of a united citizenry striving for a better future. The determination and courage exhibited by the protesters would have lasting consequences that would reverberate throughout Ukraine and beyond, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's history. Chapter 2, Annexation and Unrest, the Crimean Crisis. In this chapter, we delve into the complex and highly controversial Crimean crisis, a significant turning point in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. We explore the events surrounding Russia's annexation of Crimea, the reactions of the international community, the emergence of separatist movements, and the Ukrainian government's efforts to regain control of the region. The Crimean crisis unfolded against a backdrop of political turmoil in Ukraine, following the Euromaidan protests. In February 2014, as tensions escalated, Russian military forces swiftly occupied Crimea, a region with deep historical and cultural ties to both Ukraine and Russia. The annexation of Crimea by Russia sent shockwaves throughout the international community and sparked a period of uncertainty and unrest. The reaction of the global community to Russia's actions varied widely. Many nations, including Ukraine, condemned the annexation as a violation of international law and Ukraine's territorial integrity. The United States, the European Union, and other countries imposed economic sanctions on Russia in response. Meanwhile, Russia defended its actions as necessary to protect ethnic Russians and Russian speakers in Crimea, citing historical and strategic justifications. The annexation of Crimea also saw the emergence of separatist movements within the region. Pro-Russian sentiments, combined with a deep-rooted sense of identity, fueled the separatist aspirations of some Crimean residents. A hastily organized referendum was held, which claimed to legitimize the region's secession from Ukraine and subsequent accession to Russia. However, the legitimacy and fairness of this referendum were widely disputed by the international community. Ukraine, meanwhile, refused to recognize the legitimacy of the referendum and the annexation. The Ukrainian government, supported by a significant portion of the population, sought to regain control of the Crimean Peninsula. However, its efforts were met with resistance from Russian forces and local pro-Russian militias, leading to a tense and volatile situation. The Crimean crisis not only resulted in a shift in territorial control, but also had far-reaching consequences for the people of Crimea. The region experienced a rapid transformation under Russian rule, with changes in language policies, education systems, and governance structures. The Crimean Tatar community, which largely opposed the annexation, faced discrimination and restrictions on their rights. The international response to the crisis extended beyond economic sanctions. Diplomatic efforts were made to find a peaceful resolution, with negotiations taking place in various formats. However, the situation remained highly complex and politically charged, leaving the region in a state of ongoing unrest and uncertainty. As this chapter concludes, the annexation of Crimea stands as a significant milestone in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. The consequences of this crisis continue to reverberate, with Crimea remaining a point of contention between Ukraine and Russia, and its status remaining a subject of international dispute. The Crimean crisis serves as a stark reminder of the complex dynamics at play in the region, the importance of international norms and principles, and the challenges faced in resolving territorial disputes. Understanding the events and intricacies of this crisis is crucial in comprehending the ongoing conflict and its broader implications for Ukraine and the international community. Chapter 3: Donetsk and Luhansk, the rise of separatist movements. In this chapter, we delve into the rise of separatist movements in Donetsk and Luhansk, two regions in eastern Ukraine that became focal points of the ongoing conflict. We explore the origins and motivations of the self-proclaimed Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics, armed conflicts, humanitarian crises, and international efforts to negotiate peace in the region. The emergence of separatist movements in Donetsk and Luhansk can be traced back to the aftermath of the Crimean crisis and the shifting political landscape in Ukraine. Following Russia's annexation of Crimea, pro-Russian sentiments grew stronger in these eastern regions, where a significant portion of the population identified with Russian culture and language. These separatist movements aimed to establish self-proclaimed republics, with aspirations of independence or even joining Russia. They capitalized on the existing discontent with the central Ukrainian government, perceived as distant and unresponsive to the needs and aspirations of the local population. The movements found support among those who felt marginalized and excluded from the political decision-making processes. The rise of separatist movements triggered armed conflicts and clashes between separatist forces and the Ukrainian military. These conflicts resulted in a heavy toll on both sides, leading to significant loss of life and extensive damage to infrastructure. The fighting was marked by fierce battles over strategic locations, including cities like Donetsk and Luhansk, which became the epicenters of the conflict. The humanitarian crisis that unfolded in the wake of the armed conflicts cannot be overlooked. Civilians bore the brunt of the violence, facing displacement, lack of access to essential services, and dire living conditions. Humanitarian organizations struggled to provide assistance and mitigate the suffering of those affected, but the challenges remained immense. Efforts for peace negotiations and ceasefires were initiated to find a resolution to the conflict. Diplomatic endeavors involving Ukraine, Russia, and international mediators sought to de-escalate tensions and bring an end to the violence. Various agreements, such as the Minsk Protocol and the Minsk II Agreement, were signed, outlining steps towards a peaceful settlement and the restoration of stability in the region. Despite these agreements, the conflict in Donetsk and Luhansk remained protracted and complex. Ceasefires were often violated, and sporadic fighting continued, perpetuating the cycle of violence and impeding progress towards a lasting resolution. The involvement of external actors and allegations of military support from Russia added another layer of complexity to the situation. As this chapter concludes, the rise of separatist movements in Donetsk and Luhansk sheds light on the deep divisions within Ukrainian society and the challenges of reconciling competing aspirations and identities. The armed conflicts and humanitarian crisis underscore the urgent need for a peaceful resolution that respects the rights and aspirations of all parties involved. Understanding the dynamics and complexities of the separatist movements in Donetsk and Luhansk is crucial in comprehending the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. It highlights the significance of dialogue, negotiation, and inclusivity in forging a path towards a sustainable and peaceful future for the region. Chapter 4: Hybrid Warfare, Russia's Involvement and Ukrainian Resistance. In this chapter, we explore the concept of hybrid warfare and its impact on the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. We delve into Russia's alleged involvement in supporting separatist forces, the tactics of hybrid warfare employed, the resilient Ukrainian resistance, and the international response to mitigate the effects of this unconventional form of warfare. Hybrid warfare refers to a blend of conventional military tactics, irregular warfare, information warfare, and other non-military tactics employed by state and non-state actors. In the context of the conflict in Ukraine, Russia has been accused of engaging in hybrid warfare by providing support to separatist forces in Donetsk and Luhansk. Russia's alleged involvement in the conflict includes various dimensions. It has been accused of supplying weapons, equipment, and manpower to the separatist groups, thereby bolstering their military capabilities. There have also been allegations of direct involvement of Russian regular troops in the fighting, although Russia has denied these claims. Information warfare has been a significant aspect of Russia's hybrid warfare strategy. Disinformation campaigns, propaganda, and cyber attacks have been used to manipulate public opinion, sow division, and undermine the Ukrainian government's legitimacy. This information warfare has posed a significant challenge for Ukraine as it aims to counter false narratives and maintain a unified and informed populace. Ukrainian resistance to this form of hybrid warfare has been resilient and resourceful. The Ukrainian military, although facing significant challenges, has demonstrated determination and adaptability in countering the separatist forces. They have employed asymmetric warfare tactics, including guerrilla warfare and defensive operations, to mitigate the advantages enjoyed by the better-equipped adversary. The Ukrainian government has also made efforts to enhance cybersecurity, counter disinformation, and promote media literacy to combat the effects of information warfare. Civil society organizations and activists have played a crucial role in disseminating accurate information, raising awareness, and fostering unity among the Ukrainian population. The international response to Russia's involvement in hybrid warfare has been multifaceted. Many countries have imposed sanctions on Russia, targeting key individuals, entities, and sectors of the Russian economy. These sanctions aim to exert economic and political pressure, demonstrating a collective rejection of Russia's actions and a commitment to upholding international norms. Furthermore, international organizations and partner countries have provided support to Ukraine, both in terms of financial assistance and military aid. Training and capacity building programs have been implemented to strengthen Ukraine's defense capabilities and promote stability. As this chapter concludes, the concept of hybrid warfare and Russia's involvement in the conflict underscore the evolving nature of warfare in the modern world. It highlights the need for comprehensive strategies that encompass military, political, economic, and informational dimensions to effectively counter hybrid threats. The Ukrainian resistance to this form of warfare exemplifies the resilience and determination of the Ukrainian people in defending their sovereignty and democratic values. The international response, through sanctions and support, demonstrates the collective commitment to upholding international law and supporting Ukraine's aspirations for peace, stability, and independence. Understanding the complexities and challenges of hybrid warfare provides valuable insights into the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. It underscores the importance of a coordinated and comprehensive approach to counter hybrid threats, promote resilience, and protect democratic societies from the pernicious effects of unconventional warfare tactics. Chapter 5: Seeking Stability, Current Challenges and Future Prospects. In this chapter, we explore the current challenges faced in Ukraine's quest for stability amidst the ongoing conflict. We delve into the humanitarian, political, social, and economic dimensions of these challenges, while also examining the future prospects for Ukraine and the efforts being made to achieve lasting peace. The conflict in Ukraine has had profound implications on various fronts, including the humanitarian situation. Displacement, loss of life, and damage to infrastructure have created a significant burden on affected communities. Humanitarian organizations are working tirelessly to provide assistance, but the scale of the crisis demands sustained support and resources. On the political front, the conflict has strained the unity of the country. The annexation of Crimea and the emergence of separatist movements in Donetsk and Luhansk have exposed deep divisions within Ukrainian society. The challenge lies in bridging these divisions, fostering national unity, and ensuring equal representation and participation for all regions and communities. Socially, the conflict has had a profound impact on the fabric of Ukrainian society. Trust between different groups and communities has been eroded, and the process of reconciliation will require extensive efforts. Rebuilding social cohesion, promoting dialogue, and addressing the grievances of affected communities are crucial for long-term stability and peace. Economically, Ukraine has faced significant challenges. The conflict has disrupted trade, damaged infrastructure, and led to a contraction in economic activity. Reconstruction and revitalization of the affected regions require substantial investments and targeted economic initiatives. Furthermore, addressing corruption, promoting transparency, and fostering a favorable business environment are essential for sustainable economic growth and stability. Despite these challenges, there are reasons for optimism and hope in Ukraine's future. The Ukrainian government, with the support of international partners, is actively engaged in seeking a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Diplomatic efforts and negotiations continue, with the aim of achieving a comprehensive and sustainable peace agreement. International support remains crucial in this process. Financial assistance, humanitarian aid, and capacity-building initiatives contribute to Ukraine's stability and help mitigate the impact of the conflict. The commitment of the international community to Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity underscores the collective desire for a peaceful and prosperous Ukraine. Furthermore, the resilience and determination of the Ukrainian people are key factors in shaping the country's future prospects. Civil society organizations, activists, and ordinary citizens are actively working towards reconciliation, promoting dialogue, and fostering a sense of national unity. Their efforts serve as a foundation for building a peaceful and inclusive society. As this chapter concludes, the challenges in seeking stability in Ukraine are significant but not insurmountable. The path to peace requires a comprehensive approach that addresses humanitarian needs, political reconciliation, social cohesion, and economic development. The commitment of all stakeholders, both domestic and international, is essential in achieving lasting stability and prosperity for Ukraine. Looking ahead, there is hope that Ukraine can overcome the current challenges and emerge as a resilient and united nation. By building on the strengths of its people, harnessing the support of the international community, and pursuing a path of dialogue and compromise, Ukraine can forge a future characterized by stability, democracy, and prosperity for all its citizens. Thank you for watching our story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so you don't miss out on our next video.